Hey guys, how's it going? So it's been a minute since I've been on YouTube. I just kind of got overwhelmed this spring, got into many different things, and I didn't take you guys along. But so much has changed this year, and it's been absolutely amazing. But as the shade garden has filled out, there's a little bit of a problem that I'm having, and it's the color scheme and kind of the performance of a plant. So I have had in here in a small drift this heucherella. I'm not quite sure the name of it, but I got it and it's orange, and orange was really not the color that I wanted to go with. I will take you in for a closer view here to kind of show you what it is. It's it's nice, it does its job, but I really uh, wanted something more red. So I recently just picked up a number, I think 12 total of these. These are Fun and Games Red Rover Heucherella from Proven Winners. So what I've noticed with a number of the heucheras that I have in my garden is either they do really good in a spot for like a year or two and then they fizzle out. They either dry heave out of the soil during winter, because sometimes we get a really dry winter and it just pushes them up out of the ground, or they just do not put on substantial amount of growth that I've seen from older varieties that are closer to our hardier, more native varieties such as Velosa. You're always looking for that in the name, and a lot of them do have it. It's just how far away have we gotten from that parentage, and then all the interbreeding and crossbreeding and all the extra stuff. So I find that heucherellas, being a cross between a tiarella and a heuchera, are substantially more hardy for me, and including the heucherellas, because the heucherellas and the tiarellas, sorry, have not been bred too far away. So a lot of these newer introductions are still very vigorous. They still put on a good amount of growth. They're very hardy. And in fact, I've actually already planted one of these last year. I ordered from Great Garden Plants as well. And I could not believe the amount of growth that I got in just one season off of this plant. It came in exactly like this, just in a quart-sized container, a few mature leaves. Obviously, when they're in greenhouses, especially like online nurseries, it's going to be, in a cramped location. So you're going to have some floppy foliage, but once they're in the ground and after a few weeks of that nice warm ground and in a good position, they really start taking off and really putting on a lot of growth. And I'll show you another variety that I got from them as well. And this one started out just the same way as just a little quart like this, and look at the growth. I mean, it's pretty impeccable. So today I am going to be planting these out in a bigger scheme. I'll take you in here in just a second to kind of show you, but in this area I'm kind of going with a more naturalistic appearance, which is plants that are gardened to be in a certain way, but it would be what nature implements, I guess. We had the chance to go up to Chicago at the beginning of this month, and a big Instagram meetup. So we had a chance to meet one of my friends, Austin, and I've actually seen his install down here at Mansfield, the Kingswood Garden Centers down in Mansfield, Ohio. He did a beautiful full sun prairie style installation, and I was totally impressed with it. And I've been following him on Instagram for quite some time, and I've always been impressed with his shade gardens. And we had the chance to see downtown Millennium Park a lot of his installs, which are right around the Bean, the acoustic area. I can't remember the name of that exactly, so sorry, don't come for me if you're from Chicago, but I've really taken a lot of inspiration from that, and I'm working this area up to a point to be reminiscent of one of his gardens. So he went red with Carnival Watermelon Heuchera. I can't find that one locally, and I would have to order it in wholesale, and I kind of need something to bulk up this area because so much of the stuff is already taken off that I needed a little bit bigger of a plant, and I knew I needed something that was going to quickly perform, and that's why I landed on the Fun and Games Red Rover Heucherella from Proven Winners. So I'm going to take you in here now and kind of show you what's in this bed, how these are going to be laid out, and then we're going to go ahead and get to planting. So just to show you kind of what's going on in this bed, we'll quickly kind of go over some of the plants that are already in here. So we have Phlox variegata May Breeze. This is a white blooming spring, mid to late spring blooming woodland phlox. We have some Carex montana that I picked up from Roy Diblick when I was up in the Chicago area. We took a trip up to him to see him. There is some Carex pennsylvanica also included in this mix that was originally there. And then you can see next to it is a primula. We also have some beautiful maidenhair fern. I actually do have to move this one and this one into the group, so I'm actually going to fill an empty spot over there and then bring one back closer to the wall. Our wall is kind of falling apart, so we're going to address that later. I have a few pop-ups of thalictrum that I grew from seed. This is the Korean variety with the pink bells, and they get the yellow stamens in the center. Then we go into a large drift of Aconocloa all gold. Right here we have Geranium macrorhizae. This is a very vigorous ground covering geranium that really packs a punch and really fills out a space and suppresses weeds quickly. And then in there you're seeing, name's escaping me, Godzilla fern. And it's not getting to its full potential. These could get about 3 foot tall and wide, so it's actually probably going to come out of there, and I actually don't like the fact of how it's popping up through there, but you know, you live and you learn. We have a Woolala hosta right here. We have some holly ferns that will stay in this mix as pop-ups and come through the mix of heucherellas that we're about to plant. And then these are late blooming hosta that has very, very scented blooms, and that's why I chose to go with that in here as well, intermixed within the planting. I really, really, really love the smell of those, and our plan is to put a seeding area here eventually. We also have some random stuff. This is Thalictrum black stockings. It's an earlier blooming variety, and I'm actually going to take this out of here because it really disrupts the mix of what I've got going on here. And then I also have a random geranium. I'm not quite sure of the variety here. It does bloom a light pink. It does good, and it's handling the dry shade pretty well, but it's rather random sitting right here, so I think I'm going to take it out as well. Some of the backdrop, you can see we do have some shrubs in this area. We have, actually, this is a Eastern or Canadian hemlock. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't love this spot. It needs some extra watering, but I'm probably going to take this one out as well and move it this fall into a better location that it should like. And then these are actually doing really, really well. These are emerald green spreader yews. I might be pulling out a little tip damage there, but they're actually have done really, really well this year. They've put on a lot of new growth. They're handling the dry shade conditions really, really well. And I actually have 2 in this spot, one going this way. And then there's actually one more over in this way, flanking the patio and the walkway. But this is what we came for today, right? So this is the current heuchera that I'm taking out. I'm gonna take these all out and replace them with the Fun and Games Red Rover, and I'm really excited about this. I've been really impressed with this plant. So here is the general layout. Once we remove this thalictrum, we'll be able to really see that it's going to be a wide mass of it, and these will get quite large. These will get quite large. These that they'll only get 6 to 8 inches. I feel like they've gotten a little bit taller for me, being in part sun, which is really awesome. But they will get quite a bit wider. They're saying that you should space them between 18 to 20 inches. I'm putting them about a foot to 15 inches apart in this situation because I can tell you they do take up some space, and I want them to solid block and fill this area out. These bloom in late spring, and they do best in part shade to shade, which is exactly what they're going to get here. And I'm really, really excited. I don't think I've expressed that enough. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. So as you can see, that took about 15 minutes to come in and edit this garden bed into something that should be really, really awesome. I know that a lot of leaves are backwards and such like that, but they'll start coming around as new growth comes in and whatnot. I'm also got to come in through and water them in really, really well. And if you're wondering about this random blue bachelor's button, yeah, it kind of reseated there. Not quite sure how it got there, but I just wanted to see how well it would do in this area. And surprisingly, it's staying nice and short. It's putting out blooms, and I'm not mad about it. I kind of wish I would have gotten a full season to really try it out, because maybe I would have done some wildflowers in here instead. And it kind of encourages me to think about maybe trying some of the self-sowing annuals in other places that maybe not their normal conditions. But I've got 3 more to plant over this way. You can kind of see them tucking in between all those hostas, but I'm gonna go ahead and just sign off here with this and say thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you are having fun in your garden. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.